friends. This is Margaret.
And this is Colleen.
And we're the Cousins Weird. And it's a terrible trend. Woo!
Woo!
We needed a palate cleanser after Colleen's horrible episode
This past episode.
Yes, this past episode. So I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna jump right in. We're gonna get to a little pre-story before we get to the meat of it, you know. 1904 Olympics were held in St. Louis, Missouri, and ran concurrently with the World's Fair. This is like early Olympics.
Okay.
And back then it was more of a exhibition. The main event was the World Fair. Okay. And the Olympics were just kind of like a side thing that happened. Lots of people were there. It's like, oh, let's have a competition. So it wasn't like as big a deal as it is now.
Okay. It wasn't its own thing.
It was, but it wasn't. It wasn't like the main attraction.
Yeah.
One of the events that was held at this World's Fair was a marathon. And I couldn't find how many miles the marathon was, but it was definitely somewhere between 14 and 20 miles long. And the day they ran it was over 90 degrees.
Ew! It
was ran over dirt country roads.
Oh.
With a well, think a bucket and a rope, around the halfway point. I said it was 11 miles into this marathon.
So they got to have some water at that well.
At 11 miles in. And there was a well that they could lower a bucket down into it and pull water up to drink.
I just lower myself down into it at that point.
It's like they're thinking, and then there's like support vehicles driving alongside while they're running, picking up dirt and dust. Can you imagine?
No.
Not drinking water.
What year was this?
1904.
Ugh, terrible.
And you need to see the pictures.
What kind of shoes did they wear then?
You need to see the clothes they wore when they ran this marathon.
They full suits on.
No, they had shirt and shorts, but they wore a belt.
Of course they did.
They had a wide, 3-inch wide belt.
I can visualize that. Yeah.
With their mustaches.
Yeah.
With their mustaches and this big
belt. It's ridiculous.
Running.
What kind of sneakers did they have? They could have been supportive.
They probably weren't even sneakers. They were probably like
dress shoes.
Dress shoes or something stupid. Or boots.
Yeah, boots, I bet.
So there were 32 runners competing. Only 14 would finish this marathon. Oh, no. Because that's how they dropped out. There was one man.
One couple went in the well.
Yeah, there were two men. This is the first Olympics that actually had African Americans. Or Africans. They had people of color. And they had two men from Africa that were just there to see the World's Fair that decided to participate. And they both finished. One was like 11th and one was like 9th. But yeah, both the men actually finished the race. There was a man from Cuba who hitchhiked there because he got to New Orleans. He had earned money in Cuba to come to the World's Fair to participate in this marathon. And he, in New Orleans, lost all this money in a card game and had to hitchhike to St. Louis. When he got there just before the race started, he was wearing his clothes, regular clothes, and he had the people cut off his slacks at the knee so it looked more like he was wearing shorts. And I'm like, that's fantastic.
Get it.
Like, he's just running in his dress
dedicated.
shoes. Yeah, from like a Cuban, crazy, before the Cold War.
Yeah. No missile crisis yet.
From Massachusetts, there's a runner named Thomas Hicks. He's an American from Massachusetts. During the race, his trainers didn't allow him to drink any water because they thought it would be a detriment back then in the 1904s. No, you can't drink water while you're running.
No, let's
God forbid in 90 degrees when you're running for 20 miles. Jesus. He was allowed to rinse his mouth with distilled water that he had to spit out. If his mouth got dry, he could swish it around.
That's good. Well, at least he maybe
accidentally
swallowed something.
At 14 miles into this race...
Oh, God.
Yes. He was struggling, right?
I can imagine. His muscles are probably all
atrophied.
Yeah.
Right.
Tightened up. And
he's very dehydrated at this point, I'm sure. His trainers gave him something...
Kidneys are raisins.
His trainers decided to give him something to pep him up.
Oh, no. Cocaine.
No.
Oh.
It's way worse than that.
Way worse than cocaine.
Worse than cocaine. The early energy drink, or the peppy thing that they used to give you.
Oh, no.
And it was considered, like, at this point, it wasn't illegal to use this.
Is it meth? No, they probably know how to make meth. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's worse than that.
Worse than meth?
It's worse than meth. Strychnine.
Strychnine?
Yes.
Poison.
Rat poison. Yes. But back in then, a small dose of strychnine. They gave him strychnine, 1 milligram, mixed with egg whites in brandy because they couldn't give him water, so they mixed it in brandy and made him drink that. And it worked because it's energizing and it gives you it's
energizing until you get too much and you die.
I'm going to go through what strychnine does to you.
Oh my God, I can't even handle that.
This was common. It was like an doping.
Oh, Jesus.
It's illegal to do now in the Olympics, but back then it wasn't illegal yet.
Right.
So they're like, oh, we'll give him some strychnine. And
that'll fix him right up.
Oh, he ran. After this energy drink, he had about a mile lead on everybody else. After
Holy
drinking
shit.
This thing. He was like a mile ahead of everyone. But again, he starts to slow down after his toxic energy. People say energy drinks now are toxic. They got nothing on the strychnine egg white blend. And the egg white was just added to counteract the bitterness of the poison he was eating. Yeah. So they give him another dose, another milligram in brandy. Yep.
How many miles is this?
This was at 14, 15, 16. It's towards the end. Okay. And then he's trying to finish. There's pictures of these trainers holding him up. Walking on either side of him because he's about ready to collapse.
Because he's dying of strychnine poisoning.
He finished the race, but at the end of the race, at this point, he was hallucinating. He was near death, and he collapsed at the end.
I can imagine.
Yeah, he did live.
He was poisoned and horribly dehydrated.
They were going to give him more, and they decided not to. If they'd have gave him more, it would have
he would have died.
He would have died. And 3 milligrams is still under the toxic level of strychnine.
But he was so dehydrated.
Fact that he was dehydrated in the heat, it would have killed him.
Yeah.
They almost killed him. And he didn't even know they were doing it.
No, he thought, this is good for me.
Yeah, this is just here, take this. This will give you some energy. This will make you...
Okay. And he probably felt fantastic.
Okay, strychnine comes from the Strychnos nux vomica tree. Anybody who's into healthy, health alternative healing, there is a homeopathic remedy called nux vomica that's from this. So think about that when you're taking your nux vomica off the shelf. It's strychnine.
Oh, I'm not ever doing that.
Yeah. Just so you know. It's a minuscule amount. I don't care.
No.
It's poison. I don't want poison in me. Thank you.
Even nature can poison you.
It can. In the 19th and the early 20th centuries, strychnine was used as a stimulant and a poison. So you could buy it to
pep you up.
Kill all your rats and mice in your house, and take a tiny bit in some egg whites and water and give yourself a little energy.
Great.
No thanks. No thanks. Mm-mm. They can keep their strychnine.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, strychnine can be ingested either through inhalation, swallowing, or absorbed through your eyes or your mouth. It's that absorbable into your body. If you get it in your face, it'll absorb through your eyeballs.
That's awful. I don't ever open my eyes again.
If you get it in your mouth and spit it out, it's still absorbing
through your it absorbs so fast. Yeah.
It's so fast. Within 5 minutes of ingestion, 50% will have entered your tissues.
Wow.
It can be detected in the urine within minutes of taking it.
Wow.
Minutes. You take it, and a minute later, it's in your pee. That's how fast it absorbs.
That's crazy.
It's insane. They say between 30 and 150 milligrams is fatal within 1 to 2 hours, depending on how you ingested it. Although, I think 36 milligrams is the lowest fatal dose that's been recorded.
Ugh.
So, yeah. No thanks. It causes... We're going to go through some of the things that strychnine does to you. How does it kill you? Let's read and see. Painful muscle spasms.
Dehydration does that, too.
Within 5 to 15 minutes, depending on if you inhale it, is the worst. It gets in there the fastest because it's going into your lungs. Or if you ingest it, within 5 to 15 minutes after ingestion, you start to have seizures, muscle cramping, stiffness, agitation, hyperthermia, which... Overheating. Yep. Chabdomyolysis. And as I was writing down, I'll remember what that means. I totally forgot what that means.
Sounds like something I would do.
Kidney failure.
Ugh.
Tachycardia. Hypertension, tachypnea, which is tachycardia is abnormal heart rate.
Yeah, I knew that.
Tachypnea, I think breathing, apnea.
Okay.
It's irregular respiration. Cyanosis, which is your body's turning blue.
Ooh.
Diaphoresis, which is extreme sweating. Trismus.
Which isn't Christmas.
No.
It's not good.
No. Rhizus sardonicus, which is facial muscle spasms.
Ugh!
Yeah. Opisthotonus, which is dramatic spasm of the back muscles. It makes your neck and back arch like a rainbow. Backwards.
You're possessed.
This is the most painful. It's one of the most painful, horrific. Like, strychnine poisoning is horribly painful. Because your body goes into spasms. You start having seizure. You have nausea, as Ruby would say. I'm nauseous.
I'm nauseous.
I have a nausea. And vomiting. So you're vomiting. You're bending back. Your head is touching your ass.
Uncontrollable.
Yes.
Spasms.
And the proximate cause of death is what they listed, like from strychnine poisoning, what they would list on your autopsy would be. It would either be cardiac arrest, respiratory failure, multiple organ failure, brain damage, or / brain death. That's
so
what kills you. Yes. From strychnine. That's how it kills you.
Great.
Isn't that awful?
It is awful.
Let's take this as an energy drink. Give them some pep,
That's horrible. So it's doing that, starting to do all that stuff in the small amounts, a little bit.
Not
enough to...
Well, what it is because it's like stimulating your muscles. Like when you're exercising, it's going to like help you, like when your muscles start to get tired. But you think it's caused cramping, like running that length of time in heat with no water is going to cause your muscles to cramp anyway. Yeah. Like it's awful. In the Victorian times, this is their version of Adderall. Like, medical students would take strychnine and water to stay up all night and study.
Oh, my God.
Like, in 1876, there was a student said that he was a week long, he was studying for some big tests, and he was like, basically trying not to sleep for a week, and he kept taking strychnine. He eventually, he lived through it, but he said it was the worst pain he's ever had. Because he started to spasm, and, like, what happens is there's no cure for it. What happens if you can get to the hospital enough time? Because we're talking like 15 minutes, you could be dead. Like within a couple of hours, you're dead. Right. They basically intubate you and get you on medicine to try to regulate your heart rate and to keep you breathing so that you don't get brain dead.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. So like they're just trying to they're trying to counteract things with other medicines. So it's like there's nothing they can give you. They can try to give you stuff to flush it through your system, but because it absorbs so quickly into everywhere. It's everywhere. It's through your whole body. Like within like 5 minutes, it's everywhere.
Well, let's ingest that.
In 1992, Barcelona Olympics, a Chinese volleyball player by the name of Wu Dan, it's a female, she tested positive for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was doing it.
In 92!
And it's probably her coaches having her do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not. I have no doubt about it. She
probably doesn't even know what she was doing.
We'll have to give you some of this because it's like a performance enhancement, but not. But they test you. They'll test for it. Mm-hmm. What does she take?
Crazy. People are nuts, man.
Let's poison ourselves so we can get a gold medal. What the fuck?
Well, let's poison our youth.
Children.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid didn't have a choice, probably.
No, I doubt it because a lot of times when it comes to some countries, when it comes to the Olympics, it's like
it's great shame if you lose.
Yeah,
you have to do your best.
You better win,
right?
Or you're gonna get killed or something. I don't know what the rules are.
It's a shame. It's like you can't go like
you're probably put in jail if you don't win or something. Who knows?
Oh. But yeah, so that's my story about the strychnine energy drink of the 19th and 20th century.
Great. And we thought energy drinks today were bad.
Yeah. So
got nothing on it.
That's a terrible trend.
That is a terrible trend.
It's very
Let's
terrible.
Let's not do that trend anymore, please.
Please don't drink. Please don't eat strychnine.
No, don't do it. Just because you heard that it makes you feel good for a second. Don't do it.
It makes you feel real bad afterwards.
You'll die.
Yes. But
of course, there's a lot of drugs that'll do that.
You will die in agony.
Yeah, exactly.
Agony. It's like an Agatha Christie novel.
Yeah,
I'm sure she used arsenic. I think she used like arsenic. What's the other one?
I don't know.
There's arsenic. There's strychnine, and there's another one, cyanide.
Cyanide. All of them are terrible. Don't do it.
They're bad. Don't think you're gonna get a better result from your sports.
So, we're going to post pictures of them running in their belts.
Yeah, there's a picture of the team, like the marathon, like all the people that ran. It's ridiculous.
I can't wait to see it.
It's lovely. And then there's a picture of Thomas getting held
carried,
up while
basically.
He's walking.
And they allowed that to win? Finish the race, I mean?
Yeah. The Cuban guy who there was one guy who was running the race, and he got really dehydrated, and he stopped, and he needed a rest, so he went and he saw apples on a tree, and he was eating the apples, and then they made him feel sick, so he laid down and took a nap underneath the tree. He finished like second or third. Then he got up and he finished.
Probably because he hydrated himself a bit.
I know, and there was one guy who dropped out of the race and then got a ride in one of the
support vehicles.
One of the support vehicles, and it broke down like a few miles from the end, and he got out and ran and finished. And they're like, "Oh wait." After we're going to give him the gold medal. And then they realized that it was like, it was just a joke. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're like, well, he rode half the way in a car.
Right.
So he can't
He's
win. Disqualified. Yeah. Like, no. And I'm like, you asshole.
What a jerk. He was going to let him give him to him.
He was like, it was just a joke.
I was kidding.
Joke.
Jerks. Well, you can see pictures of this phenomena.
Yeah.
The Olympics, that's kind of cool though. On our Facebook or Instagram, we always post pictures from our episodes, so you can put pictures to what we're talking about, and we post our episodes on there. So make sure that you like those. I can't think. Make sure you like our Facebook and Instagram page.
Yes, and if you'd like to reach out to us, feel free to send us a direct message.
Some meth. Send us some meth.
Through Facebook or Instagram. There's also a picture of somebody in the throes of the...
Oh, God!
The picture of these guys.
I have to see. They look like old-timey football or baseball.
Look at the belts.
I love the belts.
Their belts aren't even holding their pants over, like, over their shirt.
They're just for looks, I guess.
Yeah, I don't understand.
With their mustaches.
Like, why? And they're cinched tight. Like, you could see it's indenting their waist. Like, why do you need to have that if you're running a marathon?
They used to do that in sports, though. I feel like they had belts in sports for some reason. Must be maybe they thought they were pushing their diaphragms or something.
No, they had weird.
We should look into that.
They really had some weird ideas about stuff back then. But yeah, feel free to send us an email.
Send us a message on Facebook or Instagram.
Yep, and if you'd like to reach out to us to send us a legitimate email, it's thecousinsweird@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And you can support our podcast by best way to do it is word of mouth, and tell your friends about us. And you would also support us on Patreon, patreon.com/thecousinsweird for $1 a month to become a freaky friend, and you get a free gift and bonus content. And for $5 a month, you're a terrible trender. You get a free gift, bonus content, a yearly gift, ad-free episodes, and a Skype when we can.
Yes.
And we appreciate you listening and putting up with our nonsense and our recent gaps in episodes, because we have been having a crazy life. But we appreciate you. Keep coming back and listening. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Stay freaky.
Bye.
Bye.